Yes, Mr. President. First of all, thank you very much for this report on the Council, but let's be honest between us, I think that the crisis is not over. And I don't think that with the measures that we are taking now, crisis can be over. And let us be honest, there is a heavy thunderstorm on our doorstep. Until now, what we have done in the European Union, colleagues, is using stopgaps, measures that are maybe necessary, but in fact are not solving the crisis. We have given €110 billion for Greece. We have given €67 billion for Ireland, and I'm not including the €24 billion for the Irish banks that we have decided now. We have, for the moment, €76 billion of government bonds, which the ECB has purchased, and I can tell you they shall continue to do that because the emergency fund is not allowed to go on the secondary market. So that means that they shall continue to do so. And we have on top of that €100 billion of collateral accepted by the ECB to give liquidity to the banks in Europe. That's in total €400 billion that we have invested the last month in this crisis, and that is 3 times the budget of the European Union. And the worst has to come. On Thursday there is normally an increase of interest rates in Europe from 1 to 1.25%, what is maybe worsening the situation. It's necessary to combat inflation, but on the other side is worsening the situation. So that's the situation. €400 billion that we have invested. And have we solved the crisis? No, we didn't solve the crisis. I think what is necessary is a real bold and in-depth approach, and we don't have it for the moment. And for that I want to refer to Nout Welling, that's the president of the Dutch National Bank, who has published his annual report a few days ago. And he is saying 3 things about the outcome of all decisions the last weeks also in the Council. He's saying the budget rules are not tight enough. He says the economic governance package is too little. The pact for the euro is in fact too weak because there is no mechanism to enforce it. And 3, he is saying, I'm not saying, I'm quoting Nout Welling, president of the Dutch National Bank, who is repeating exactly also what Trichet has said the last week. The 3rd thing he's saying, the financial supervision is conducted too much on a national basis. Well, I think he has right, Wout Welling. And that we can even add a number of elements. The first is the EFSF and the ESM, dear colleagues. It was the rescue funds, permanent and the temporary rescue funds. They cannot work because they have a unanimity rule. A unanimity rule that makes that the entire Eurozone shall from now on be hijacked by Eurosceptic governments and by Eurosceptic political parties if we keep this unanimity rule in these rescue funds. And finally, and that's my message of today, we have still to clean up the European banks. The problem is not solved. And the recovery economically in Europe shall not start if first of all we do not deal with that problem. They not only have the old products from the financial crisis still in their portfolios, they have now also a number of bonds in their portfolios of problematic countries on which the ratings are going down every day and at least every week. So what I'm asking for, Mr. Barroso, is that you and also Mr. Trichet for the ECB are coming forward the fastest as possible with a global response on that issue. There is a stability pact that is bolder and the Parliament is working on that. And economic governance is a real economic governance, because what we have now is an intergovernmental approach without a sanction mechanism, and that shall not work. It didn't work in the past, it shall not work in the future. I think that you have to come forward with a proposal to abolish the unanimity rule in the rescue funds, because that cannot work. We are giving, in fact, all the power to these countries and these parties who are against the system. And finally, you have to come forward with a plan for the European banking sector. We shall not have economic recovery before you have put on the table a European mechanism to clean up the banks. And we all know that shall take money. Recapitalise the European banks, finance investment in Europe, as has been requested by Mr. Schulz, and at the same time covering the bad public finances of a number of our member states. How do you do that? Where is the money? The only way to do the money is to create a real euro bond market. And you know it. That is the way out of the crisis. Creating a European bond market. And I think, Mr. Barroso, it's now time to deliver. Time is running up, and it is not only with the pact for the euro that we shall solve the problems.
The next speaker will be